What's going on, socialites? This is Now You Know. Now, child, Jay-Z had Twitter Spaces booming the other night, and social media is responding to some of what he had to say, and if you missed it, don't worry, we'll be playing it all right here for you. But before we get into all that, make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube channel, and make sure that you have your post notifications turned on so you never miss another upload. Now, let's get into what happened on Twitter Spaces. So if you missed it, Jay-Z was recently in a room which was hosted by Alicia Keys and Genius, where he was talking about all things music. So first things first, we all know that throughout COVID, Versus Battle has been a thing that many looked forward to, which we all know started with Timbaland and Swizz Beatz. Now since then, there have been many requests by fans to see various artists hit the stage and do a versus together, and one of those people just so happens to be Jay-Z. Now you already know what kind of man Jay-Z is, so the fact that he addressed the Versus Battle in the first place is iconic, but this meant that there's absolutely no one who can go up against him when it came to him going head to head from his catalog. Not to mention, he said that there's some songs that no one's ever seen him perform live, so take a listen to what he has to say.
Nobody can stand on that stage with me. I need this. I ain't gonna lie, no disrespect. Everyone's amazing and done what they done. No one can stand on that stage with me. I'm just telling you guys the real.
I feel it.
There's not a shot. There's not a chance in hell that anyone can stand on that stage with me for I don't know how long it is. 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours.
Right.
Look,
you gotta stand in front of the Grammy family freestyle live. No one's ever even seen me perform that. Like, you gotta stand in front of that. That ain't gonna never happen, man. Let's move on from Versus and let's get back to the this Keys album.
Now it makes sense. I mean, we're talking about Jay-Z, the man who just got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the man who just this year with 3 Grammy nominations has officially become the most Grammy nominated artist of all time, beating out Quincy Jones, whose last Grammy nomination was back in 2019. Not to mention, he's married to the woman who has the most Grammy wins for a female artist and tied with Quincy Jones at 28, while Jay-Z is just a few spots behind him with 23 wins. So it's almost safe to say that there's really no rapper who could stand up against him successfully, but according to Lil Jon, one person can, and that's Busta Rhymes, as Lil Jon took to Instagram with a comment about Jay-Z's statement on Twitter Spaces saying, Busta Rhymes will smoke Jay-Z. Now this is not the only conversation that came up during this Twitter Spaces conversation. There was also a comparison of Beyonce to Michael Jackson, and the fact that Jay-Z believes Michael Jackson could have never done a Coachella, because this is what he had to say.
And Michael Jackson was so good because he was around his brothers, singing and dancing since he was 7 years old. Right? So, of course, Beyonce is going to be, of that level. And to me, and it's my personal opinion, Michael Jackson he had Motown 25 where he did the moonwalk, and that was amazing. That was an amazing moment. But, find me a concert that's Coachella. That was is culturally relevant and technically thrilling. And thrilling is just a word because I didn't want to say another word, but
bars, double entendre.
yeah.
So he already said off top that he knew Beyonce was probably going to be mad at him for making the comparison, because how could you even compare the two artists who are on 2 different playing fields and 2 whole different generations of fans? He even admitted that Beyonce was a fan of Michael Jackson at a young age, but y'all already know Twitter had a lot to say about it, because shortly after his comments, Coachella began to trend on Twitter, with some people saying things like, Jay-Z is comparing Beyonce to Michael Jackson when it comes to Coachella, but Michael left before various avenues of digital streaming were created. He was pulling Coachella reaction at any given concert without social media and entertainment platforms, while another said Michael Jackson sold out Wembley Stadium 15 times, which is the most by any artist in history. He received a Guinness World Record for 7 sold-out concerts at that stadium on his Bad Tour alone. Coachella who? I mean, in this case, it is really hard to compare 2 greats like Michael and B, but Jay was still not done with what he had to say while on Twitter Spaces. So you can't have both him and Alicia Keys on the same stage without asking about the infamous 2009 VMA moment when Lil Mama hopped on stage while he and Alicia were performing Empire State of Mind. Now this conversation was actually brought back up before this recent Twitter Spaces conversation when back in October, Alicia actually responded for the first time to the situation, saying that she forgave Lil Mama, actually admitting that for the longest she didn't even know she had hopped on stage. Now for Jay, he actually said of course he forgave her despite the fact that no one should ever hop on somebody else's stage.
Jay, are we forgiving Lil Mama all these years later?
Yeah, of course. Come on, don't do that. Yeah, of course. Like,
good.
That's our sister, man. We love her.
For sure.
I wouldn't recommend people just jump on other people's stage, but
right.
we don't wish her no harm.
Nah.
That's corny. Like, it's she's a New Yorker. You know what I'm saying? She got excited, so that things happen, and of course we love her, and we don't. I mean, when I say we, Rob, I'm not talking about you.
Right.
Nah,
Now, actually, Lil Mama responded to the kind words that Jay had for her, saying, "I appreciate hearing this portion of last night's conversation. This has always been my stance. Love from both my big brother, big sister, and my city. It brings clarity to all of us as a community, and to actually hear those words from our legendary leaders." So there was so much more that went on during the course of this conversation, but socialize. What are your thoughts about some of these topics that he brought up? Let us know in the comment section down below. As always, make sure you like us on Facebook, you're following us on Instagram, and you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, because now you know what's trending.